Good morning to my colleagues here in the Senate and as well as those that are of the listening audience. Um, my question would be to the junior minister. First of all, let me say thank you to her. I think it's very important that that the community be aware of this scourge of an increasing number of reports of these teen dating abuses. And I would like to just reiterate what my fellow senators have been asking for, which is the data, because I think once the public can see for themselves the horrific rise in the numbers of reports, I think that will do a lot in stimulating and motivating the community to, first of all, realize how much of a crisis that we're in, and it may actually give them some inspiration to get involved and help to bring about solutions. My question would be, as we all know, social media is the breeding ground for poor behavior, which then creates um, poor relationships, unhealthy relationships. In fact, I mean, I was telling my wife that I need to do something about my social media platform because I'm getting all of these pictures and videos from young teenagers, young girls that are absolutely um, makes your hair stand on edge. And I'm not saying that they deserve the bad abuse. They shouldn't. We all agree with that. But I do believe that our young people are inviting this type of behavior because they are ignorantly getting on social media and putting themselves up and putting themselves in harm's way. So my question to the junior minister would be, and I'm looking at page 3 of these 5 support systems that the government has put out there as agencies that can assist. Amongst these 5 agencies, is there a curriculum or a program in place to teach even through the schools? And I think that's an important place to put it. Is there a curriculum or program in place to teach our young people, our teens, our young adults, what they should not do on a social platform and how much that can work against them and invite abusive behavior? Because we all know our kids are constantly on their telephones, and that, in my opinion, appears to be the smoking gun to where we can probably mitigate a lot of this abusive behavior. If the junior minister can enlighten us on that, I'll be most appreciative.
Okay, thank you. First of all, I would like to disagree with you. I don't think anybody is inviting. He said they're inviting this how they're dressing or whatever is inviting this behavior. No matter what, nobody deserves any sort of abuse, whether it's on social media or in person. Number 2, to answer your question, in schools, when you do health classes and computer and IT classes, the teachers do a great job to ensure that children know what they should and shouldn't do. So we do it in schools. Obviously, more education needs to be put around it. It needs to start at home, to be honest, because my 7-year-old is not allowed to go on certain things. That starts at home. We need to ensure that our children are on what they need to be on. It's no way that even if I had a 15-year-old, because I'm been a foster parent, if your phone needs to be locked, you don't need a phone. So we need to do better jobs as parents. And it starts at him. The government can do so much, but we need to do better as parents and monitor what our children do. And I believe that, like I said before, the the Ministry of Social Development and Seniors are trying to look at ways to help to implement classes and courses that people can take to help with these type of behaviors. Also, we are exploring to have an education campaign around this and a media campaign. Thank you.
Senator Jones, you have
I do have a supplementary with a clarification. If I put $20 on a sidewalk, I'm inviting someone to steal it. I'm not wishing it, but because of my poor actions, I've now invited a thief to steal $20 off the sidewalk that belongs to me. So I don't want the public to think that because of the, shall we say, careless behavior or uneducated behavior of our young people by putting certain pictures on the social media platform. I'm not saying that they are intentionally trying to be abused. I'm saying that their actions could has unintended consequences, which is abusive behavior. Just to clarify that point. I would also ask the question, Junior Minister, when does the authorities interpret abusive behavior to being just that, bad behavior, and it actually becoming criminal? Because I think for the community's sake, there needs to be some clarity on what's allowable, maybe unacceptable, but in the eyes of the law is allowable, so that we can put a spotlight on behavior that has crossed the line into the realm of criminal behavior. If the Junior Minister can clear that up for me, I'd be most appreciative.
Madam President, if I may just interject, I do apologize, Junior Minister. Given the broad nature of the statement from the Junior Minister, obviously it's generated a lot of interest, and I'm certainly glad to see this much interest on this particular topic, because it's very, very important. Certainly would invite senators, given the nature of the questions, it might be more beneficial to submit some parliamentary questions so that the Junior Ministers can actually timely and a very good fashion cover the material properly by bringing some answers to some parliamentary questions. Also, Madam President, the Senate might be aware that last year we launched the youth policy, and that was late last year. And the working group has recently just been announced, and so my ministry will be having some large sort of overarching responsibility through the youth policy and through this working group, because one of those youth policies in there is to keep young people safe and protected from harm. And so we'll be tasked, of course, with ensuring across government, as well as working with the third and private sector to ensure that there are policies in place. So in the upcoming days and weeks, as the working group really gets out there to do their job, a lot of these things that we're talking about today will have a better audit and a better idea on exactly how well things are working, what the stats look like, and where the gaps in services are, and what the recommendations would be to sort of bring those services into alignment so that we've got effective and efficient services for our youth. Thank you very much, Madam President.
Thank you, Minister.
Thank you, Madam President. So, first of all, I want to actually say I'm actually still appalled at the comment from my Senate colleague. I don't care if a child was laying on the street naked. And no, what we should do is call the police. No one, we need to teach our children that it doesn't matter what somebody words, what somebody says. We need to I don't even know what to say. That statement actually hurts me as a mother.
Point of order, Madam President.
What is your point of order?
My point of order is the Junior Minister is suggesting that my motive was not above board. I just want to express very strongly that that's not my intent. We cannot at times control our children as young people from making the right decision if left unsupervised. We all know that if a 3-year-old was left by the street, it is in fact in danger of being knocked over by a car. That's not saying that that child was inviting for them to be knocked over.
Point of information, you said inviting
to suggest that
behavior.
To suggest that I am actually saying that bad behavior or uneducated behavior is actually asking for abuse, that is not the case. And for the record, I don't like to be labeled as that. Thank you, Madam President.
Madam President, his exact words was inviting behavior. I mean, again, by what he said. So I stick by what I said, that no matter what, nobody invites this type of behavior to be abused in any way. So I stick by what I say, Madam President. And to answer I can't even remember what your question was after that. That just took me. So, can you repeat your question?
I can help the junior minister who's having problems understanding,
Oh, I don't have no problems
Senator-
understanding.
Senators,
the question that I asked
please state the
was,
question
yes,
clearly.
the question I asked of the junior minister was, can she identify for us in this chamber and for the listening audience when unacceptable behavior translates into criminal behavior? Because I think it's very important that the population understands when behavior has now crossed the line, which requires the courts to get involved. I think that's very important. Thank you.
Madam President, what I can say is that's a matter for the police and the DPP's office. I do know from experience with students that the police do take parents and students and try to mediate if it's not a criminal behavior. If something goes wrong, they do take the time to mediate. And if it is something that needs to be taken further, they take it to the DPP's office. And if a case has to go to the DPP's office and go to court, then they do the due diligence to get it done. So I do believe that the police, the Department of Child and Family Services do their job to ensure that whether it's criminal or not, that the children do get the help that they need immediately when it happens, if it's brought to their attention. So thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, Senator Simmons. And would any other senator care to speak on this statement?